Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Dan.
I'm Andrew.
And this is the Board Game Rundown. Today we're going to talk about A War of Whispers, but the expansions, more importantly. And we're going to sprinkle in a little bit of the Collector's Edition, which is what Bob has.
Expansion is a big word for what is
For a
actually
big word
a
for-
couple packs, a couple card
The
packs.
War of Whispers add-on.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
so we're
Mini
specifically
pack.
talking about Dark Alliances and
Conquests and Treasures.
So,
The latter of which comes with the collector's edition.
Yes.
So
Yes.
don't buy it and you'll get loaded with
Yeah.
Too many
more
treasure.
Double
card.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so if you want to know what we think of War of Whispers, Dan, what should they do?
We have a video right up
Yay.
there somewhere. There'll be a little eye that you can click on anytime in this video, and that will link you to our thoughts and prayers on War of Whispers base game.
Spoiler, it rocks.
Yeah,
it's really good.
we are all big fans of War of Whispers. Actually, Bob liked it so much, he went out and bought the Collector's Edition.
We did. Because one of the nice things about the Collector's Edition, not to jump on it right away, but it fixed all the things that we had complained about.
All but one.
All but one.
The only thing we thought originally was that the cards could do more.
Correct.
So the interesting thing with these expansions is they're strictly card expansions.
Card-based, yep.
So we will see if that fixes stuff for everybody
us,
that had problems with the cards, or no, I shouldn't say problems. It just wanted them to do more.
Yeah.
But yes,
We'll presume you know how to play War of Whispers if you're
the deluxe
That's what the
edition.
other video is for.
Yeah.
The deluxe edition does really help make you understand where things are on the board, because the tower, you're constantly moving
The
stuff.
images get covered up, so the 3D
Is there a
pieces
tower there?
definitely
Is there a city
help.
there? Is there a farm there?
Right.
The pieces are amazing.
Yeah.
They are great for this.
Yeah.
So
These dudes sitting on the throne are
Totally worth
really cool.
Yeah.
and it was really fun calling Dan purple the whole time, even though he thought he was supposed to be
pretty
blue.
purple.
It's the dark.
It's
blue
purple.
thing.
That is
Yeah.
purple.
That's purple.
He's the Dark Blue Man group.
Yeah.
But anyways, so the main thing is the way the currency of the cards work in the game is that when you play the card, you need to have that many symbols showing to play it, right? I guess we will talk about this card, even though we said not to.
So this is the base game.
So that's just a regular card
Right.
you could draw during the game. So to play it, you could play it straight up
For the
right?
top ability.
For the top ability.
Yep.
The currency counts for itself.
Yep.
Right.
You need to discard an additional card
Horse
with
card.
that symbol
Yep.
to do the second ability, and then to do the third ability, you need the eagle or whatever that is.
And I believe that was every card in the original War of Whispers.
Yes.
Every
Yes.
card had
Had
a
a
1,
a
a
one.
2, and then a 1
mixed
and
company.
another faction
Correct.
card.
Right.
And one of the neat things too is, while it might be a specific factions card, you can use it on any faction's turn, unless it specifically says like the yellow faction.
Right.
So you can get a yellow card and use it on the brown guy's turn, and that's fine.
So here, show them a treasure card.
Here's
So
a
treasure cards that get added, they are a wild. That's all they do.
And that's all.
They just are going to allow you, make it easier to play some of those mixed cards, or beef up your hand to play the stronger faction ability.
So that's
when it's
part
all
1
backwards.
of the Conquests and Treasures.
Right.
And then we
That's
have,
what's included with the collector's edition.
Yep.
Yep.
And then for Conquests, I've got a couple, Tim, if you want to take these.
Yeah, go
Dark
for
Alliance
it.
cards. Or
Sure.
whatever.
So I'll
No,
read
we're
them
doing
and then
conquest
Oh,
ones.
sorry.
still.
So
Yeah.
conquest.
No, I got a couple conquest ones.
Sure. So these cards, immediately when you draw them, it says stop whatever you're doing and resolve this.
Do a this or
Typically, it's
that.
do a this or that, or there are some that just make you do one thing. So for example, I have a conquest card in my hand that says kill all banners in one region adjacent to a region that this empire controls. There's a couple on the screen here that you can read. And they do a lot of damage.
Yeah, they have a lot of really powerful effects.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
They're very strong.
Yeah, we went pretty card heavy strat this last time. Just
Yeah,
so we,
well,
really,
we wanted to
we wanted
test
to
out
test
the
them out. We wanted to
expansion,
see what
so,
they did. So
yeah.
yeah, we really pushed for them, and man, they really did change things up. Like Dan's like, oh, attack out of nowhere. Like I'm like, oh, this city's safe. I'll just leave it abandoned. Dan's like,
Yeah.
here I come in the back door.
blow
yeah.
up three. Yeah, blow up 3 banners in a region.
Yeah,
Very strong.
Very strong.
And then, so that's that expansion. We're just going to
Yep.
lump them all together because
Yep.
I think it's the easiest way. The Dark Alliances. Each faction is going to have 2 of these Dark Alliance cards mixed in their deck, and each one does a different thing, but they're all the same across all the factions. So it is, you play that card on an opponent's turn, and you can ask them to take that action. If they accept, you have to remove one of your agents from the board, which is really interesting because there is like a you're gonna basically be giving up an action in future turns,
Right.
to get that action now.
Right, because the way the whole thing works, where you're placing 2 every round and then you're pulling 1 back, you have a guy sitting out there keeping actions. But if
Right.
that card makes you take one of those back, you are foregoing future
Honestly,
actions to take one.
when
right
I
now.
tried to play this card earlier, and then
Yeah.
I realized that was what was going to happen, I was really glad you didn't take me up
well, I didn't want you to do
because I was just trying to do a chaos
sure
stuff. Anyways,
that's why
It is really cool to like take somebody's turn and then you give them a bonus. Like I
Right.
gave Tim 2 extra
Cards
cards
for yours.
at
Yes.
the very last
So-
round,
Right.
and I was holding on to that because I wanted to use it strategically.
so that's the other Dark Alliance card. You play it on an opponent's turn. You offer to add 4 banners to their attack. If they accept, they must remove one of their agents. You must add a different
They're
one.
different. Yeah.
so
each one's different.
each clan has a
Faction
different.
specific.
Ask them to
Really?
take
Yeah.
their turn. Yeah.
Add 4 banners. If they accept, swap one of your deployed agents. Oh, with one of theirs. Okay.
Yeah, so each faction's
Does
Dark
it-
Alliance
does it a
something
different way.
differently.
And
Got
to,
it.
to go back to the one you were saying about removing one of your agents around there is, so when you're playing a 4-player game, when you get to the end of the game, literally every single space is filled.
Yeah.
So if you start pulling people off,
Yeah, my
that's going
card
to really
was-
start opening up
That
your
changes
options
game
at
state
the end.
later
yeah,
on.
quite
For
a bit.
sure. For sure. So yes,
Very
all the
interesting.
factions have a different penalty or whatever
I'm glad.
for the alliance. Yeah.
They recycled the art, which I guess is something, but I'm glad the abilities are different.
Yeah,
Not
the
just-
abilities are different. If they
Yeah.
accept, you must reveal one of your loyalty tokens. That's
Yeah.
good.
Man, there's some cool stuff in there.
Yeah. So lots of fun stuff. We saw a handful of these. We didn't see everything when we played through. We just kind of threw them in and went running. We did accidentally have double of the treasure
Treasures.
and the conquests. in
Yeah,
there.
before we realized that they were already included in the collectors.
Right.
Didn't affect the gameplay though, or our review.
It affected-
Like,
It
it's-
affected my
It affected gameplay,
I had
but
a handful of treasure cards.
yeah.
You can play anything you want.
No, because I didn't have anything to play with
Yeah,
it.
all
Well,
you got was treasure cards.
Is that Dan's fault? Dan, is that your fault?
It's not my fault.
Actually,
Andrew, was that your fault?
no, it was,
Never is.
it was
No.
Tim's
Ask my wife.
fault.
No, it wasn't my
guess
fault
that-
You
because
added them in.
I didn't know what
Oh.
you had in your box, and neither did you.
I did not know what I had in there. I didn't know that that expansion was included.
So yeah, sounds like it was your
Yeah.
fault.
Combination.
Card
effect.
quality is different.
Yeah, I mean they're linen finish still, but they're slightly different, and like the coloring is a slightly different. But I mean, you'd be super hard pressed to tell it from the back.
What's that called?
Saturation.
No, like in a factory, the level of how much they pay attention.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't
right.
think of what
Quality
that's called.
control.
Quality control. Thank you. The quality control does not seem to be perfect here.
No.
It does not seem to affect the game, but
No.
just so you know,
But
They're
if
not
you're,
not-
if you're
Seem to be
nitpicky,
perfect.
you will
Yeah.
tell a difference in the
Sure.
card quality
yeah,
and the
Andrew
color.
noticed instantly.
I noticed
did.
immediately,
Well,
and
yeah,
I'm not a
different
card
different
stickler.
shade.
Yeah, different shade.
Like I
in
said,
the-
still, I think you'd be hard pressed to tell which one is which just from the back. And if you're that worried about it, you could sleeve them, right? Get a
Right.
different colored sleeve for each faction,
Yeah.
and just
No, I was not worried about it, but it was weird. Bob
Yeah.
and I were holding up cards that were 2 different linen finishes.
Yeah,
and
one
it
looked
was-
like
you
smooth
could
and the other one
instantly
smooth.
tell
Yeah.
that there were different grades of linen on the cards. Like that's weird.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, overall, the basic idea, right, in this is if you have the collector's edition, you'll be wanting to get Dark Alliances, which adds the Dark Alliance cards, which
Yep.
is the playing on to
Other people's turns.
trade with people,
Yeah,
basically.
bartering system.
And if you don't have the collector's edition, then you'll want that one and the Conquests and Treasures. The Treasures are wild
and
cards.
get the 3D miniatures, honestly. Honestly.
The collector's edition is
and
the
the
way to go.
conquests are just cool choice cards that you get to
Mm-hmm.
act. So that's the overall though of what you'd be getting out of these.
Yeah. Again, strong recommend for this game, anyways, but an even stronger recommend for the collector's edition
Yep.
because the issues that we had with the board
The base game.
of the base game are all completely fixed by the
Correct.
collector's edition. I'm like considering still buying the collector's edition. And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah,
and
I'm
then,
really glad I did last year.
because
Yeah,
This is
It's
the only
super
game
cool.
that I own
it's
that I
the-
would sell the original just to
Upgrade.
the-
yeah. I mean,
This
dude,
is the
these-
same thing as like Lords of Hellas with the terrain pack, right?
Yep.
It's a terrain pack that dramatically increases
Gameplay.
the gameplay.
Yeah.
Just ease of teach and
Right.
yeah.
It's like, yes, they look nice, but they're also functional because
Yeah,
it makes it
very
easier
they're
to
very
identify.
functional.
and it's
yes.
a war map. Like you're moving pieces.
We get
Like,
some little sticks and like push our guys.
yeah. Like if you just play the base game here, everything is flat.
It is
Yep.
very
Dimensional.
flat.
There you go. Well, I mean, it's not really.
Yeah,
though, 'cause
yeah.
That would be weird.
And it's
like-
just cubes, right? Instead of
In cubes.
Isn't it
Yeah.
cubes?
I thought you had banners still, don't you?
I don't know. My
Does the
box.
OG
I
Shoot.
haven't
Yeah,
played
whatever.
in a long
I
time.
think there are
I think
cubes.
it's
I think it's
cubes.
just cubes. I think it's in the rule book actually. Yeah.
Not that part matters to me that much.
But now we
Yeah.
want to look.
But now we want to
Yep.
look. Because we're curious.
And we got a
should
copy
know.
right here.
Right there.
Look at them cubes.
Yeah, the
cubes.
cubes.
Look at all them cubes.
Look at all them beautiful cubes.
Cubes, glorious cubes.
Yeah, look at
So
that thing
yeah,
that's not in
and the
shot.
cubes are fine, but man, those banners are.
They do everything they
Yeah,
need to do.
this
Banners
makes the
look
game
great.
really pretty.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. Let's go around and just any thoughts you had regarding the expansion and the collector's edition and how it affected your
Sure.
gameplay.
Okay.
Bobby.
Yeah. Well, we kind of already said it, but collector's edition I think is amazing as far as the little cities, the little guys even fit inside there, which is super cool. These dudes at chairs really offer a presence as you're really like sitting on the council, right, going around. Oh, wash on that would be kind of
swaying
cool, but they're not
ideas.
needed. The colors are very easy to tell apart, so that is good. Even like as far as the player colors and the colors of the people on the map, so that is really good. And as far as the expansion, I'm really glad they started upgrading some of the cards. That was, like I said, one of our other biggest complaints was the cards just seemed kind of redundant and not a lot going on there. But man, like some of the things that Dan was doing, the hey, can I take your turn type of stuff, I'm going to conquer this area and I'm going to add a whole bunch more troops. Like it was very well done. I like to see even more. I mean, like that's just me. I like more and more options. So this is a great start. But I definitely recommend it, and I think that if you enjoy this game, or if you like, it's one of the neat things is our friend Levi doesn't like
Hates
area.
area
He hates
control.
area control, but you're not like, oh, I'm Brown and I'm trying to take over this area control. No, you're everybody. You're playing. You're
Yeah.
manipulating all of the factions involved, and that is just a super unique way to do area control. And
It's
even
kind of
people who
got
don't-
the king is dead.
Yeah.
Like you don't control the things moving around the map.
Sure.
You're controlling the like what's
a bigger
moving
picture.
around, but you care
It's a
more
bigger
about
picture
the,
thing.
yeah,
Right.
you care
Yeah.
more about the
I usually kind of like describe it as a Bene Gesserit, the game, right? So you're just kind of like doing all the whispering into
Nice.
ears and what people should be doing, and then they go and do it. You know,
That's a
Yeah.
Dune thing, Andrew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did make this
Hadn't
one
made
guy
it.
put his hand in the box and see how long he could hold it there.
right. and
But I
he
didn't
pulls it
even
out.
like that faction. I just-
You just want to see what happens.
Yeah. Dan, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, as far as collector's edition goes, it's really good. It's probably worth the money because it's not that much more expensive. But as far as the review for these expansions go, here's the thing. My only complaint with the base game was the cards. I felt like they were really underwhelming for how much this game offered. They were just kind of tacked on is like what it felt like. Like you're just doing, oh, I'm moving extra people and stuff. I don't know. I wanted them to be more interesting. And so when you describe the three things like I did earlier, there is now a Dark Alliance bartering system that's going on. There is now these like 2 option cards you're playing where you're either doing X, or Y. Okay. And then the treasure cards are wild. Fantastic, because a lot of times you get into a problem where you're not pulling, or if I'm rooting for these 2 factions and I draw them and they need cards from the other 2 factions I'm not working
Then
on,
you
I'm
gotta go
wasting
draw
my
over there,
time going
yeah.
over there, but I don't want to go over there. I don't want them right.
It's
So
a quick game. You don't have enough time
Exactly.
to waste a piece on another faction.
There's been a lot of games recently that are 4 rounds, and you
Yeah.
just always feel like there's not enough time.
Right.
But so everything does in this game on paper is amazing, and I feel like in actual action, it's good. I wouldn't say that anything here is bad. They're all fantastic. And if you want to get some extra cards for this game, absolutely. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, let's say that I give War of Whispers a 9 or something. I'm not sure. It's very high. I like this game a lot. These expansions do not affect that grade. The expansion, I don't go up half a grade or anything because these expansions make the game that much better. They increase ease of play slightly, and they do make the decks better. But do they make them better enough for me to be jumping up and down? They don't. I'm different, I guess, than some of these other things you're gonna hear. I am very happy they exist. I'm very happy that they're cheap because they're just little card packs. So just go buy a little card pack, throw it in. That is awesome, and they are well designed. They are nice. I'm just not giddy over them. I'm not like, oh my god, they finally fixed the one thing I had a problem with this game. I'm still sitting here like, yeah, the whole game I played like 4 cards. And it was good. It was a better 4 cards than I played last time I played this game, but it still wasn't like, oh, this game's a 10 out of 10 now or anything like that. And that's all I'm saying. So overall, they are good. I would recommend them. I'm not going to like say they're amazing, I guess is all I'm saying. So that's kind of my thoughts on them.
Yeah.
What do you got, Andrew?
Yeah, so like when I score, my expansions always score higher than the base games because of what Dan said, except I think our scores are going to be different because of that. Like for example, Fantastic Factories, for example. That game's like a 6.5 or a 7 in my ratings because it's a normal kind of dice placement game. But the expansions are so good, I can't imagine playing Fantastic Factories without it. So the expansions, in my heart, get a 9.5 because they're like, wow, that did such a good job. I'm never playing Fantastic Factories.
Without-
a 7
Exactly.
without this.
because now they've
pack.
increased your experience.
Yeah,
and made it-
You've
it's
you've
lots of
enhanced
games.
the flavor of a game. So like my up and coming review of, or my score for the expansion is going to be higher than this game because these are absolute must-haves
It makes the game
for
better.
the game. It's like salt on a steak. You know
proper
what I mean?
amount of salt.
Yes, the proper amount of salt on a steak.
Yeah, it's in
exactly.
seasoning. Yeah.
So, like everything here felt like it should have been in the game initially, but good job for thinking about it. And then, like I always try to add like, oh, it'd be cool if a game did this or this or this. This game feels like a closed package. I don't think if they added more to this game besides packs,
More cards.
more cards, like this right now might be as finished of a product as it could be without getting more convoluted. So
Sure.
I think what they did is they addressed like, hey, our cards are kind of bland. Let's throw a couple wild cards in there and let's just,
Zhuzh it up a little bit.
yeah, just make it a little bit more, throw some makeup on it essentially, and they didn't overdo it. So
Yeah, so I was kind of thinking about like this while you guys were talking, and I can see why, like, the cards they've added definitely make the game feel better for me. I didn't do a ton with the cards, but I do appreciate what the treasure cards do because they make the economy of the cards a little bit easier. I have complained in the past about games where I feel like, oh, they give me all these cool things, but not the economy, not the buying power to
Right.
do it, because this game is short.
Right.
This game plays very quickly.
we crushed through this. The first time we took a little while,
Yeah,
but
we were
this is a
figuring it out.
fast game.
But once we all sat down, having played before,
45 minutes.
yeah,
Yeah.
45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And always super tight.
And
Yeah.
the-
Good
and
way
the-
Yeah.
to get mad
The score
at
was-
each other
finished
really
the score was
early.
in 7 points.
The cards added 0 to the teach because I literally, Dan was like, oh, what is the other expansion? And I go, I'll tell you in a minute. And then I played my Dark Alliances card
Yeah.
because it just tells you what to do on the card. That is a wonderful way to add to your game.
Add an expansion, right.
Because if we're teaching,
Horizontal, not vertical.
if you're,
right?
because if you're teaching this game and the expansions are in there, you just, when you're going through
you don't
the
even
cards,
tell them there's an expansion.
yeah, you don't even know. It's just, it feels that naturally integrated. To what you said, Andrew, these are cards that probably should have already been in there, and that's
Right.
fine. I could see now, though, if you're going to do more cards, you almost need to start taking cards out because, again,
Right.
You won't draw things.
you don't want to mess up the economy of the game because you're not going to be drawing the things you need. It's just going to get out of balance and really funky.
Yeah.
With the way that they've added the cards and what they've done, because the other cards, the new cards don't cost anything. They only help you either get other cards. Well, actually, they do, right? Because the Dark Alliance even still has a faction
icon,
cost,
right.
an icon. So you can use that as currency to pay for other cards. So they don't even add a cost, right? It's not like, well, now I've got this 4-cost card. It looks
Yeah.
super cool. It'd be really fun if I could play it. Because, again, the way you take your actions in the drawing the cards, it's not easy to do, and you have to set up to do that. Sometimes drawing just one card is useless. I mean, if you're going to go for cards, you need to draw multiple
At least
cards.
2.
So you can kind of build up some stuff.
Use one of the stronger abilities.
Get them so that they're useful. It makes sense for you. Anyways, collector's edition, hands down. Had I been aware of the collector's edition
Yep.
before regular War of Whispers, it would have just like
Gone right to that.
Gone right to that. Because
I think I got mine on Amazon for $20, and I still regret not getting the collector's edition, even though despite it was such a good deal.
But what that adds and how that improved our experience and honestly saved us a bunch of time, because it's not like, oh, well, there's a tower there, there's a
Is there a
tower
city
there.
there? Is there a
I mean,
city
this
there?
literally, the collector's edition literally probably took 5 to
the game
10 minutes off
Yeah.
of the game because you're just not you don't spend all the time trying to calculate,
Yeah.
you know, what's where. Collector's Edition, hands down, fantastic. Because these small box expansions, I mean, they're like $10 each. I feel like it's worth it. If you've already got the Collector's Edition, you only need to get the Dark Alliances, and you're good. You have a complete game. Even if you didn't have Dark Alliances, I would still really recommend the Conquests and Treasures, because I like drawing the card and a this or that, and I've got to do it now.
Right.
I kind of like that little extra pressure on there. I think that's a nice thing.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, this is a game I rated highly anyways. I don't remember what I rated it before, to be honest. But the expansions did not blow me away like some do, or like, oh, this fixes a broken game like some do. But they're so nice, they just slide right in like butter. And they're good. They're really good. I wouldn't say great.
Yep.
I would say this is great.
Right.
These are good.
Exactly.
Yep.
I think that's kind of where I'm at.
I also just want to give a nice shout out to the company, because they came out with these little, we'll just say $10 card packs. I don't know the finalized price, right? But let's say, little $10 card pack, right? A lesser company would have thrown that in with a half-baked expansion to make you pay $30 to get those cards, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just really appreciated that you can just get that to upgrade your game if you have everything else. Like, if you have the Collector's Edition, you just need to buy Dark Alliances.
Yep.
And the fact that you can, I just want the company to know, is insanely appreciated.
Yes.
Because
So shout
you
out to
see
Starling
companies
Games.
not
And it was
do
in a
that
little
lot.
aluminum pack, right?
I mean, it was.
Or was
just
it in
plastic
a
pack
small
of
box?
It might have been like a little, like a paper envelope. I mean, it was just like maybe a
Like the
blister,
Uno Ultimate
a
kind of
blister
thing.
pack.
Right.
You
Yeah.
pop open, and it
Okay.
had like a wrap around it.
Sure.
I mean, it was very small. You know, kind of simple thing.
I guess I'm saying it's not in a box, which
No,
would
it's
up
not-
the charge
no,
to
no, no,
$15,
no.
$20,
Exactly.
No.
right?
Yeah.
No, very small.
Okay.
Minimalized
And
packaging.
Yeah.
I barely remember what it looked like, because I cracked them open and I threw them in the box, because I'm
Yeah.
like, here we go. Because they're in a bag, they're in there. That's the expansion. And now that I have played it with the expansion, all of these cards are going to go in their respective decks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And forgotten about, because they're
it's
just
now part of the game.
It's just going to be part of the game. And it's, again, thank you for not making it so that I've got to teach something else. I don't mind doing that, but at the same time, it's like, no, you're going to draw these cards. These are the types you're going to see.
All you have to do is teach the iconography system, and then you just say, read the card.
Yep.
You know, and literally
What does it
everything
do?
else
What
makes
does it say?
sense.
That's what it does.
That's
Yeah,
what it does.
I don't know if I've seen a single card that felt ambiguous.
No, they're
with
all
its
very
wording,
direct.
You know?
I mean, let's say the one ambiguous thing we had, it was like kill all the things in one region. But then later on, we saw says a region with a yellow banner.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you can pick an empty region.
Empty region.
And that's fine, because there are ones that will specifically say with a certain color.
And
banner.
if we're wrong, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. But that's how we interpreted it.
Yeah, going off of
Yeah,
wording
just
of
because
other
everything
cards
else
and
was
everything.
so specific,
Yes.
correct, that we assumed that the purposeful,
Right.
non-specificity
Yeah.
meant empty. So
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. So how do we want to do this? We're going to give this a number, like our
Yeah.
expansion?
Yeah.
Quick
Yeah,
little
it's
number
rate that
system.
expansion.
Hey guys, it's Mike. Did you know that we have a Patreon? That's right. For just $5 a month, you could support Tim, Bob, Spencer, Dan, Andrew, or even myself. That's right. For less than the price of one of those expensive coffees, you could support the rundown. We'd appreciate it if you did.
Dan, how does that work?
hi,
Hello.
we're gonna rate the game from 1 to 10. We use 0.5s, and then we'll average them all together at the end.
That was amazing.
Well, really,
How did you come up with
well,
that?
Tim's gonna rate it out of 10, and I'm secretly
rate it out of
guiding
4.
his score in the background, and
That's
I
it.
want him to give a certain score, but Bob wants him to give a different score.
Oh,
What's this worm tongue going on?
I don't know which one to listen to. No, I love it. Okay, Bobby.
Oh, okay. I wish I knew what I gave the base game, but I guess it doesn't matter that much.
Right.
I think it is a very good expansion. It could be more, but like Dan, I agree, it's not blowing you out of the water. So I'm gonna give it a 8. I think it was
And that's collector's edition too.
no,
No,
this is
just Dark Alliances
just the
and
expansion.
Quests.
Well,
and
we're also
Conquests
reviewing
and-
the collector's edition because we
Sure.
never reviewed.
Collector's
Oh.
edition's a 10. Okay, now I'll give my normal
Yeah,
score.
okay.
Wait a
We're doing the whole
minute.
collector's
No,
I'm
edition.
not
no.
adding those together.
We're
Don't
reviewing
the
do
card
it
packs.
too much.
Okay, just card packs. You said an 8.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
Dan.
Yeah, I don't think, to kind of oppose what Andrew said earlier, I don't think this is a must buy, but I do think you will not regret buying it anyway. It is very good. I think I'm gonna give it a slight bump, and I'm to say 7.5. I think it's really good. I just wish that like I got like ooh after playing with it, and I was just kind of like, oh yeah, okay, I see how that improves it. And I wish that emotion was stronger.
I think you know what might do it, and I don't know how you would do this to the game, would be a way to just get more cards. Because I feel like if you had more cards,
Right.
Sure.
Everything is based on how many huts and how many castles there are.
Right.
I say because it has a limit. Oh, you can only have 5 cards. I think I got to 4 at one
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
I don't think anybody's ever had.
I had 5.
Okay.
But then I purposely played some that turn. But the only 2 things, this is so out of place, but the only 2 things I could see added to this game in the future, and we're always right on this show. So,
We are.
So
Listen
mark
up,
us down,
Starling.
We've been getting these.
Listen up.
is a way to draw more cards. So some
got
kind
it.
of
I said
some
that.
kind of basic thing where you have temporary huts you place down or something. Too complicated, but something like that. And also the thing that I'm kind of surprised isn't in the game yet is like a king.
I want a
that
grande
is-
worker.
Yeah, that is a
Grande
slightly
worker,
bigger.
yep.
Yeah,
He just lets you
exactly.
do both actions.
Yeah, you know, or I don't know.
Or you place them on the flag and you can pick one to do.
Yeah, I don't know. Just some kind of like
Yep.
he's slightly bigger than the rest, and this is like your leader of your faction. I could see that being a thing.
That's,
Thank
I think that's
you,
the thing is you're not supposed to
viticulture.
have a leader of your faction because you're not part of any faction.
Yeah,
No,
sure.
he's a really strong influencer. He's the best
Exactly.
influencer
Sure.
in your clan or
Yeah,
your
his
cult or
Instagram
He's
whatever.
got like
following
he's got like a
is
million
amazing.
followers.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, totally off topic, but those are the only 2 things I could even begin to think they could still add.
I would say to fix the card thing, you could even just like add it in, like, oh, okay, at the end of the round,
Draw a
one
card.
card from any deck.
That's true. Okay, well,
Anyways,
sorry.
Andrew, what do you
Forward.
got?
This is a game, or this is an expansion where you can throw in. Shut up. This is an expansion where you can throw it into the game and you don't have to add it to the teach. This is a. This is just adding potatoes next to the steak. This is a 9. You know, it's regardless of what War of Whispers is. I'm rating the expansion and how it improves the game, and it does nothing to not improve the game. So that's like it's a weird high praise, but it's a high score just by technicality.
No,
it's an expansion that needs to be in the game if you want to play it. If you want to add salt to the steak, Dan.
listen.
You want to add
All I
salt
know
to the
is
steak,
you don't
Dan.
put
Andrew's
salt on
analogies are
Salisbury
making me hungry. So we need to wrap this up so I can go eat.
You marinate your crappy steaks. I put salt and pepper on mine. And
No,
this
again-
expansion pack was just enough salt and pepper.
You gotta do the little.
right on top. Yep.
I don't
Big
disagree.
grains of steak. 9.
I don't agree with anything you're saying, and that is
I add that
normally
yet?
again how I would rate an expansion. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give I don't know. Let's say I give
I also love this game.
right. No, I'm just saying I don't know. Let's say I give Bang the Dice game 7. The expansion's amazing. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I 100%
Yes.
agree with what you're saying.
Yes.
I just feel like this one's more of a lateral move than
Sure.
an up move.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
Sure.
Like,
No, I think I agree with Dan. I mean, it's an 8. It's an 8. I like how seamless it goes into the game. This will always be a part of the game. There's never going to be a reason to remove that from the game unless I am buying the collector's edition and
Yeah.
then I need to physically remove the expansion
Right.
I have so I can add it
It's a philosophy
to
difference.
the other one. But no,
that sentence sounds like a 9.
but
There's no reason I'd ever
but-
take it
well,
out.
but there's no reason I'd ever take it out. But for me, the bigger difference and the bigger increase in experience was the collector's edition versus the expansion.
Sure.
The expansion didn't come in and blow me away. The expansion was like, oh yeah, really great, wonderful. Goes in nice and
Yeah.
easy and makes sense. I mean, that's why it's an 8 and not just like a 7 because it functions so seamlessly in here, you know, and adds 0 time to the game.
How about little wax? You know how the wax
The wax
seals?
seals, here we go.
Little
right,
wax
Darwin's Journey.
seals on. Oh, is that in another game?
Yep.
Yeah.
How sick would that be? You
That'd be
got
pretty
these little
cool.
gray wax
Yeah.
seals, and you got to flip them all over. That is a collector's edition. Starling, if you're listening.
let's just keep naming stuff.
All right,
How come we
so
didn't play
anyway-
with a mat today? Let's just keep naming
want
stuff.
to cloth.
All right.
Can we
nap.
use a globe with magnetic pieces? Do you want to talk?
No.
Andrew, can you talk about steak some more, please?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. So if we take all of our scores and we average them together, beep boop 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 boop, 8.1.
Yeah.
That's pretty
8.1.
good.
That's
It
fair.
was a war.
Yeah. Whispers. It was a war of whispers.
But nobody whispered. We all yelled a lot. No, fantastic game. Really glad we got to play the expansion. Any excuse to like sit down and play a War of Whispers?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great game.
So good.
So good.
I remember like when we saw this, I think it was Gen Con, right? Or was it Gen Con or was it Origins?
before Gen Con.
Origins last
Origins
year.
last year. So we saw it and we were walking around and I saw it. I was like, I think about it. I kept walking. I came back like the next day and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get it.
Well, for me,
Yeah.
it's just a shout out to Shut Up and Sit Down. They used to talk about this game all the time, and I was like, "Oh, it sounds like a game I'd love. It sounds like a game I love." And then you guys became obsessed with it because of what you just said.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm just really glad we tried it out.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Absolutely love this game.
Well done,
Strongly
Starling.
recommend the collector's edition as well. But if you can't swing that, get the
It's-
regular
it's
version
fine, yeah.
and then scoop up these guys, and you're good to go.
Yep.
So, all right, guys, for the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
Bob,
Dan,
Andrew.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.